Well, we're at the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and Cattle Industry National Convention in Tampa, and I'm talking with Paul Genho, who is well known as former manager at King Ranch and also with the Deseret Cattle Company, and just finished a presentation on water issues and some of the severity of some of the water crisis that we face in agriculture. And the King Ranch Institute for Ranch Management has recently published a white paper on this issue. And Paul, I wonder if you just summarize some of the main points as to where we stand and what kind of things need to be done to try to move us to the next step in water use.
Well, as you mentioned, water is a critical issue in our nation right now in agriculture. We've just gone through a serious drought that may be just as the tip of the iceberg of some of the future water issues that we could face as a nation. We think that water will be the issue of the next coming decade. Knowing that, the Institute decided to pull together a group of producers and water policy people and develop a white paper that might help the industry in educating the public and the influencers about some of the critical things that are happening in water. The United Nations has indicated that in 50 years that we would need to produce 70% more food than we are right now worldwide. Now, much of that will really come from the United States, which is truly the breadbasket of the world. So we have this pressing need to produce more food for the future, for the growing populations. At the same time, we have decaying infrastructures in America, dams that are 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, no national policy of repairing and replacing them, no new water infrastructures being developed, water policies that are shifting water away from agriculture to cities, to environmental protection. So we have shrinking and threatened water supplies with a demand to produce more food. And somehow or other, those two don't add up. There's got to be some initiatives and development of policies and investments in water. Yes, truly what happens in the cornfield in Iowa affects the price of foods in Pakistan. And if you get global unrest, you get people starving, hungry, hopeless, there tends to be political unrest. When there's political unrest in the Middle East, in sub-Saharan Africa, what happens to oil prices? Oil prices go up. When oil prices go up, food prices go up. When food prices go up, unrest increases. When unrest increases, you get more. And so we're in that vicious circle. And then we wind up spending millions and billions of dollars and a lot of young men's lives, young women's lives, defending us, trying to correct problems that are caused basically by starvation and lack of food. We have a cheap food policy in America. Food is cheap. And so the general population doesn't see or understand the threat that we're talking about. Regulators don't see it. Governmental officials don't see it. And so the only way they can become aware of this is by agriculture having a wake-up call and help them understand how critical the issue is and how if you don't sow, you don't harvest. If we don't do water policy development and water infrastructure development, water research now, we won't have the harvest in the future that'll be needed.